Welcome back to the Dashing Investor YouTube channel, where we're all about positivity and making the most money with Doordash. So yeah, guys, today we're going to be jumping right on into this video about how to make the most money with Doordash earn per offer option. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in right on into that first strategy. You need to be at a 87 to 93% acceptance rate. And why do you ask me, oh, why would I ever want to have a high acceptance rate like that? Well, if you're on that new tier program like most of us are now, Doordash is rewarding the drivers with the high acceptance rate the very best high priority orders. So in my town, I found that the sweet spot is between 87 and 93% acceptance rate. Again, that's in my town. You're going to want to maybe test that and see what is the sweet spot in your town to keep that 87 to 93% acceptance rate. Now, what is my strategy to keep that 87 to 93% acceptance rate? Well, let's kind of break down why first I keep an 87 to 93% acceptance rate. Well, again, like I said, we're all in this together. You know, I'll always try to bring you guys all the information that I can, but quite frankly, at the same time, we all have our own bills, our own goals, our own dreams that we're trying to reach. So quite frankly, you're going to want to outdo the other dashers in your town. And how do you do that? Having a higher acceptance rate is how you beat out the other dashers for the best orders in your town. So I try to not to go ever under 87%. This way I do beat out the other dashers for the better orders. And also on the other end of that 93%, I found really anything over 93%, I really don't get any better orders. 100% is no better than that 93%. So again, that's why I have that sweet spot between that 87 to 93%. Now, what is my strategy? Because that's most important. What is my strategy to stay between this 87 and 93% acceptance rate? Well, let's make this simple here. I know I can't go under 87%. I don't really worry about going over 93%. So let's just say I'm at 93% right now. So at that point, I know I can decline 6 orders before I go down to that 87%. So I'm declining. I'm looking for the very best orders in town. So I'm declining from 93 to 87. Now, once I get to 87%, this is when you got to change your mindset, guys. You have to change your mindset. At 87%, I start maybe taking some of the mediocre orders. And what I mean by mediocre, I mean I may go 7 miles and only get paid $7. I may go 7 miles and get paid $8. I may even go 7 miles and only get paid $6. So at 87%, I switch up my mindset to where now I take some of the mediocre. And of course, Doordash will also, since I have a high acceptance rate, is going to mix in those good orders with those mediocre orders. And I work my way back up to the 93%. Now, once I get a few under my belt, if I'm at 90% and it just sends me a horrible order, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and decline it. I'm not gonna go for get paid $4 to go 10 miles. I'm not going to do that. So if you have a 91% acceptance rate, go ahead and reject that. We're out here to try to make money. We're not out here trying to give charity. So once you hit that 87%, make sure you switch that mindset. Don't stay in that other mindset where you're just looking for those good orders, because before you know it, you'll find yourself in those 70s along with a lot of other dashers, and your orders won't be as good. And you may find yourself with your back against the wall and you got 70%, and here it goes, it sends you a garbage order. Now you didn't went under 70%, and at 69 or below, Doordash is going to kill you with those terrible orders, and it's going to be a lot worse and a lot harder to try to get back up where you need to be. So just find that sweet spot in your town. Again, in my town, it's 87 to 93%. So once you find that sweet spot, that's step one. Find that sweet spot. Again, in my town, it's 87 to 93%. Once you hit 97%, or once you hit 87%, change your mindset. Get off that declining everything mindset, and know you need to accept some mediocre orders so you can reach back up to that 93%. And then from that point on, 93 to 87, that's simple math. It's 6. Now you got 6 orders you can decline and look for those better high paying orders. Now, what's part 2 of that strategy? How do I use that philosophy during the day? Well, I'll come in and start work at about 11 a.m. just in time for lunch, and I may work to 7:38 all the way through dinner time. So what I do, if I have, say, that 87% acceptance rate, or maybe I have a 88 or 89% acceptance rate, well, during the day, I'll accept those mediocre, those orders mixed in with some banging orders, because again, I have a higher acceptance rate and I'm beating out other dashers. So yeah, I'm gonna have some good orders mixed in with some mediocre orders, but I'm looking to build back to that 93% because dinner time is coming up. So at dinner time, now I have built up my acceptance rate high as possible. So I may have, hopefully, I have a 93% or better acceptance rate. So let's just say I have a 93% acceptance rate during dinner time. Now, from 93 to 87, I can decline 6 times. Or if I have a 92 or a 91, I maybe can decline 4 or 5 times. But I definitely want to have the highest possible acceptance rate during dinner time. And why? Because that's the very best time of the best orders. So I want to, I'm gonna kind of use the term cherry picking for this. So now during dinner time, I'm looking for the very best orders. I'm not taking any dollar per miles or anything anywhere close to that. I'm looking for those high priority orders, the ones with the pretty blue label, or some people call it magenta or purplish label, but I'm looking for those high priority labels, because that's that big money, that's that good money. So during dinner time, now I have a higher acceptance rate, so now I can cherry pick down to 87%. Again, don't go under that 87% or whatever you have found to be your sweet spot in your town. Do not go under that. And hopefully it works all great for you. Hopefully at 5 o'clock, you have a 93 or higher percent acceptance rate. And then dinner time usually is over between around that 7:30, 8 o'clock. And hopefully, guys, everything works out great. Most of the time it does work out great for me because you have all the great orders out there combined with a great acceptance rate. I usually only have to use maybe 2, maybe on a little bit worse day, maybe 3 of my acceptance rate points. I may have to decline 2 or 3 orders, and I still end up at the end of the night, at the end of dinner, I may be sitting on an 89, 90%, sometimes still 91% acceptance rate. It just depends if I started at 93 or 94. But just remember, guys, do not go under 87% or whatever is the lower number in your town. And then don't really worry about going over that 93%. That's probably in every market. Don't waste your time. I've already been up to 100% acceptance rate. I've been lower, down to 70% acceptance rate. I've tested it under all these different acceptance rates to see which is the best. Again, I found the sweet spot between 87 to 93% of my town. Found the sweet spot in your town. Don't go under that lower. Don't go over that higher. And use this strategy that I just covered to stay in between that 87 to 93%. Now, especially if you work all day, you can work on getting the acceptance rate higher the way I told you. Accepting those mediocre orders and of course accepting the better orders. But then dinner time, when it's showtime and prime time and those better orders are coming through, that's time to start looking for them. Start digging for that gold. And that's when you start declining. But don't get greedy and go below your low number. And I don't advocate this, but sometimes even to save that acceptance rate, you can use a little bit of your completion rate. So if you got 100 or 99 and you got an order that you don't want to do, go ahead and accept it and immediately unassign it. And that won't hit your acceptance rate. That'll hit your completion rate. But make sure you don't go under 95%. And I like to not even go under 96%. I like to keep that 1 point just in case something goes crazy and I need that 1 point. But most of the time, I stay around that 98, 99% completion rate. So yeah, that's just a little, I don't really advocate using that a whole lot. And definitely don't go under 95% because now you're getting kicked out of the platinum program and then you didn't completely destroy the whole strategy. So yeah, find your sweet spot and then use this strategy to stay between that 87 to 93%. And then definitely if you're working during the day until the dinner, accept some of the mediocre orders so you can gear up and be ready for dinner time so you'll have enough acceptance rate to dig for that gold during dinner time. So yeah, guys, now we're gonna jump on here into number 2. This is the number 2 strategy that I use to get the very best orders from DoorDash's earn per offer option. And that is to be by the high paying restaurants. You always want to be by your high paying restaurants. In my town, they're all nestled together, so I can kind of sit in the middle. I have a money spot. I'm not going to divulge where my money spot is just in case some other Fayetteville people watching this. But try to find your high-paying restaurants and sit in that parking lot. Or if they're nestled together like they are in my town, try to find you a central point where you can sit. And then later, if you find a restaurant that is really popping good orders out, maybe you want to make that your regular sitting spot where you like to sit. So yeah, that's number 2. Find your high paying restaurants and make sure you stay by those high paying restaurants. Something else to go along with that. You also want to make sure you find where's your slow restaurants, the ones that take forever to give you your food and they're killing your earnings. Because sometimes it's the same restaurant. It might be a high paying restaurant that give you the banging orders, but sometimes they can be slow. So you need to make sure it's paying that high pay that's going to be worth that slow time that is going to take them to have that order ready for you. So make sure, even if it's a high paying order, but if they're taking forever, that could kill your high paying order. So just make sure that perfect balance. And like in my town, I have a couple that are like that, but most of them, they're high paying, banging restaurants, and they have those orders ready when I get there, or I may have to wait a few minutes, which is no big deal. So yeah, that's number 2. Be by your high paying restaurants during dinner time and even during the day. Try to keep that same spot, because a lot of those eat-in nicer restaurants, hey, people are ordering during the day too. So just make that your central place where you go park all the time. And then even if you can kind of get it down to where the exact parking lot. So always be testing, man. Always be testing. But the first foundation, find those high-paying restaurants and make sure you're sitting close by, because DoorDash will hit up the closest dasher to those restaurants, especially if you got a high acceptance rate and your other ratings, say your customer reviews and your completion rate is high also. So you want those high as possible too. So now let's go ahead and jump into number 3. What's the number 3 strategy? Now, again, I don't advocate doing this, but hey, you might want to drive a little bit faster. Hey, time is money. Time is money. And most police, unless you get one that is ridiculous, you can drive 5 miles over the speed limit. Like I say, I don't advocate breaking any traffic laws or anything like that, but hey, common sense, you drive a little bit faster, you're going to get to your destination a little bit faster. So once you pick up that order, hey, rule of thumb, drive 5 miles over the speed limit, you're going to get there faster, and 99% of the time, the police are not going to mess with you. They don't pull you over for that unless you get some, like I say, some kind of ridiculous police, you know. But hey, that's pretty simple. That's pretty simple. You might drive a little bit faster to get to your destination. Hey, it ain't no much more to that. You drive a little bit faster. So, number 4. Now this is very important. When you get to the restaurant, do not stand in no long lines or anything like that. If it's a busy restaurant, 10 people in line, and now you're sitting there. Hey, time is money, especially on earn per offer. Time is money. You need to have that order in your hand quick as possible and to your customer quick as possible so you complete that order. Because, hey, you may be going 8 miles and getting paid $15, or going 4 miles getting paid $7 or $8. But you need to get there quick, because the more time it takes is just eating into those profits. So when you go into a restaurant, this is what you do. When you go into a restaurant, look for a staff member as quick as possible. If there's one right at the counter, cool. Step right on up and say, hey, you're a DoorDasher, you're looking for such and such order. A lot of restaurants have a designated spot where you can stand, have your phone out, let them know. And most people know now when somebody step up to that and they have their phone out, they know you're there for a to-go order. And most even know now that you're a food delivery driver. Now, if they don't have a designated spot, or if there's nobody behind the counter, when you walk in, look for that first staff member that you can find. Snatch them up. I don't care what they're doing. If they're mopping the floor, whatever they're doing. When you walk in there and the first staff member you see, if there's nobody behind the counter, you snatch them up and get that process of you getting that order started right away. So if somebody's mopping, hey, I'm such and such, I'm a DoorDash driver, I'm here for such and such drive. And they're going to help. Either they're going to go ahead and grab your order for you, or they're going to go find the person that handles that. So when you walk in, look for that staff member. They may be behind the counter, cool, or your foods might be on the rack. So you look for that to-go rack that your food may be on. You look for that first. Because if it's there, you can grab it and go. Now, if it's not there, if it's behind the counter and somebody's there, you go ahead and step to the side. If it's a line, you step to the side. Keep looking at them till you got eye contact. You show them you got your phone, and be ready to tell them, hey, show them the phone. Hey, I'm such and such. I'm here to pick up that order. And again, if there's nobody there, look for that any staff member, snatch them up. Hey, let them know what you're there for so they can go and get that process started to get you your order. So yeah, number 5, and this is something about the app here. Just kind of, it's about the app, but it's also about knowing your town. Hey, you want to know your town, because sometimes the GPS can take you, longer routes and whatnot. So, hey, just learn your town. Probably a lot of us have lived in our town forever, so we pretty much know our town good. But just pay attention. Hey, even me, I've been in my town forever, but I've learned a lot more different routes and quicker routes as I did DoorDash. So just make sure you just pay attention, because sometimes DoorDash GPS will take you a certain way, and good and well, if I go this way, it's quicker. So just once you become a food delivery driver, pay attention to your town and the better routes. Most of the time, yeah, the GPS is going to be cool to get you there the quickest route, but sometimes it's not. So if you know a better route, a quicker route, you take that route, and the GPS will always reroute you. So even if you know a quicker shortcut but don't quite know where the house is, take that shortcut and the GPS will reroute you and get you on point and make sure you get to that house. So again, just kind of know your market and know those shortcuts and those better routes, just in case the GPS is trying to take you a longer, because sometimes it'll take you way down the street to make a U-turn, and you could have made a U-turn right here in the parking lot, or it might take you a whole different route, and you know good and well this route over here is way quicker. So yeah, guys, just pay attention and take those shortcuts if you know those shortcuts. So yeah, number 6, probably for the newer dashers out here, you always want to make sure you're kind of shooting for that dollar per mile. You don't really want to do too many of the below dollar per miles. And what do I mean by dollar per miles? I mean, if you go 7 miles, you want to at least get paid $7. That's a good rule of thumb to make sure you make money. Now, you still do make money if you say go 7 miles and you're only getting paid $6. You still, by contrary to popular belief, you're still making money even on that, what we call an upside down order. But just a rule of thumb, you want to try to get $1 per mile. And again, you're going 7 miles, you want to get paid $7. So pretty simple. You can't go wrong with that. And of course, you want to accept anything that's better than that. So pretty simple rule of thumb, pretty good foundation to go by. Now, number 7, and the last one, to earn the most money on earn per offer, it's pretty much, hey, work the best time of the day. And that's most of the time, it's that 11 to 2, that's lunchtime, and then that 5 to 8, 8:30, 9, depending on your market, that dinner time. So you want to work the best times of the day and also the best times of the month. And what I mean by the best times of the month, hey, in my town, the 1st through the 8th is the best time, because that's when everybody's getting paid. I'm in a military town. That's when everybody's spending the money, spending the most money. I'm getting the bigger tips. So you want to make sure you work during those times. Or if you're a factory type town and everybody gets paid on every Friday, hey, you're going to want to work every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, maybe even test out Monday. Make sure you work those days. Again, that's when everybody has the most money. That's when everybody's going to spend the most money, and you're going to get the most tips. So just find out in your town, when is the best time of the month to work. Make sure you working those times of the month, because that's when you're going to make the most money on the earn per offer option. So yeah, guys, that is my strategies, how I make the most money on Doordash earn per offer option. But as always, guys, I want you to stay focused on those goals and those dreams. Don't let nobody stop you from reaching those goals or dreams. If they're not supporting you on those goals and dreams, guess what? You might have to throw them in the seat, put that seatbelt on, hit that button, and eject them out of your life. Because if they can't support you, they don't need to be in your life. And I don't care who they are, friends, family, somebody on social media, strangers, whoever it may be. If they don't support you, why you got them in your life? Every time you come up with an idea or something that one of your goals or dreams you're trying to reach, they always poking holes in it, trying to say, oh, that's not going to work, or you sure you want to do that, or do it that way, or just always talking down and trying to kill your goals. Hey, man, get them up out of your life, or even better, don't even tell them. If you can't get them out of your life, don't even tell them about your goals. You just go ahead and do your goal and execute on your dreams. Don't even tell them. They can see the success after you completed the success. But don't let nobody tear you down. And if you know they're that type of person and they've tore you down before, but you can't really eject them out of your life, don't even tell them. Don't even tell them about your goals, man. Just go ahead and do your thing and reach your dreams for real. And don't let nobody stop you. And that's including yourself, because it's you versus you. And only you can make your dreams come true. So again, guys, I appreciate everybody stopping by, subscribing, taking time out of their busy day to watch the video. And as always, I want y'all to be safe out there and keep getting this